And today's sermon is about abortion. That's a toxic subject, but let's hit it. Now, as I sit here, it seems to me that we've come to an impasse in our country regarding our ability to choose our own religious beliefs. As far as abortion goes, it boils down to a matter of when is life. And there's one school of thought that says the Bible tells us life begins at the first breath of life and ends with the last, as the soul enters and exits the body. It's an interpretation some people are using, but is it valid? The other school of thought is it begins at conception. That's interesting. Can life really begin at conception? Is it really life? Now, certainly in the Bible that you should not kill. That is one of our commandments, after all. But when would that be killing? Scientifically we know the fetus will not survive outside the womb without assistance. Before 20 weeks. So, is it really a viable human being before that? Does it have thought? Is a heartbeat enough? That's up to the person making the decision. Because there's nothing in the Bible that says it. Religion is an ever-evolving school of thought, and changes are always based on another's personal opinions or interpretations of something they magically found and think no one ever else has. It seems now, if you're loud enough, people will believe just about anything. After all, they've started spelling profit, Profit. Pro-birth activists have forgotten that religious freedom is not about taking away theirs, but about allowing us to practice what we believe without their interference. It's a right under the Constitution, and we need to exercise it. Trying to impose your teachings as the only alternative offered by God is just wrong. As we try to get all of this straight in our minds, maybe we should look at this problem as something that is personal between the woman and God. After all, I can't think of anything else that would be a better example of a decision made in concert with the Lord. So let's not make this a question about our own judgments, but about whether we should interfere with someone else's. Should any person try to replace God in the judgment of others? If you don't know the answer to this, you're pretty sad. No one replaces God as the judge of our souls. You and your opinions cannot be religiously or civilly passed on to others. You are not the judge or jury and can only answer for yourself. This is the highest form of blasphemy you can reach for. Trying to replace God in judgment? Another question is, are you sure that God had no part in the decision to bring the fetus's soul to its final judgment? And if you are, I'd have to say you're an awful, arrogant sociopath with a God complex. Because again, You're replacing God in judgment? Who are you? I have never met a woman making this decision that has not talked to a higher power, prayed about it as a religion prescribes, ultimately leading to the correct outcome. Are you arrogant enough to think that the way you worship is better than another person's? All roads lead to our salvation and God. Even atheists try to live a life that we would describe as having Christian values and morals. People that have never been exposed to Christianity and wouldn't know what you're talking about follow a similar moral code. All religions have a similar moral code. It seems everything about abortion boils down to a personal decision between a woman and her Lord. And while your voice can be heard and be part of helping her with the decision, you have no right to interfere or judge what the outcome is. Your voice should never be condemning or judgmental. Your opinion does not matter. Your kindness does. And after the decision is final, it is your duty as a Christian to put that opinion aside and help this woman through the trauma that is left. Our ministry teaches and guides the pregnancy to the correct conclusion. Whether the child is born and survives or not is ultimately God's judgment. God brings souls to Him every day from the womb. There are many reasons that have nothing to do with abortion. How is it possible to say that abortion is not another path He has chosen for a soul? It is not up to us to judge. A woman has a right to choose.